Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Victor makes an aggressive move on Kane, while Adam butts heads with Nick. At Crimson Lights, Lily is perplexed when Kane confesses that he invented the Dumas identity out of fear of failure. He had already disappointed her and the children by failing their marriage. She helpfully points out that he has failed as a father yet again. Victor interrupts, requesting a chat with Ashby. Lily chastises her ex and storms out. The mustache proposes they speak privately. Will Adam persuade Nick to his side? Nick leaves a message for Supergirl at the ranch, expressing his feelings of longing for her. Adam shows up looking for Victor. He informs Nick that he does not believe they can trust Kane, and should not even pretend to work with him. Nick claims that it is simply a scheme to take down both Arabesque and Jabot at the same time. Adam doesn't see it happening. Kane is a snake at best, and certainly not naive enough to fall for it. After some disagreement, Adam advises their father against falling into a trap, and proposes they work together to talk the old man out of it. Nick Y&R. Nick is not convinced, and he claims Victor has a secret weapon to use against Kane. Neither brother knows what this could imply, but Nick believes their father will be able to sort Ashby out on his own. If that doesn't work, Nick wants to pick the battle, while Adam prefers to go right at Kane. They pray they do not live to regret Victor's idea. More. Will Nate and Victoria reunite? What reaction will Lily receive from Holden? At Chancellor Park, Lily bumps into Holden and expresses disappointment that he did not follow her advice to avoid Kane. She's certain he'll regret taking over Damien's prior position. They talk about how severely the expose on Ashby affected her children. When he advises they each mind their own business, she continues to probe. The tension rises as he claims that Damien has only ever treated him like a lackey. Lily accuses him of not mourning properly. While we recall his friendship with Damien ending quite recently, he informs Lily that it ended long before he died. Lily Holden Y&R. Lily dislikes hearing him talk about his friend in this way, and accuses him of suppressing his emotions. Holden responds that she's doing the same with Kane. You have no idea what you're talking about, she says, believing she's only doing him a favor. When he asks what she's after, she says she only wants the truth. Holden does not know what his boss has planned. More. What's with all these Vespers? Will Sally question Billy? At home, Billy summons his private investigator and asks them to track down Kane and investigate his life. Sally walks in and asks for his aid in selecting an attire for her launch. Spectra figures he'd be interested in watching her change, and reveals that she's scoured the shops for clothes that fit the antique TV theme. Sally unbuttons her jacket, and Billy sits down in a chair. More. Melissa Claire Egan celebrates her son. Sally models 3 costumes for Billy, who claps, kisses her neck, and helps her get out of her dress. They strip and get onto the couch. After sex, they relax with few beers and determine that her third dress was best. He is certain that the event will mark the beginning of a new era. Sally admits to having some concerns, but he is confident she is the appropriate person to head this organization. Sally Billy Y&R. When Billy's PI calls, he is astonished by the report and informs Sally about Victor's encounter with Kane. Spectra questions whether meddling with Ashby is advisable. Her partner reassures her that there will be no difficulty. He is confident that Kane will make a mistake, and he will be prepared for it. We can't imagine how, but Billy swears that once he learns what Ashby's plan is, he will beat him to an acquisition. Billy Sally Y&R. What will Victor say to Kane? Victor chuckles as Kane leads him into his train and declares that he is making an offer Ashby cannot refuse. Kane is not in the mood to make agreements with him after exposing him in the public. The mustache makes it obvious that he will not give him Chancellor, and that it will not help him get Lily back. He informs Kane that it is in their best interest to create an alliance. Victor drops an envelope on the table and pledges to ensure that the contents never see light of day if Kane agrees to his terms. He has evidence that the money he used to purchase Arabesque was obtained through Colin's deception on the owner of the chateau and vineyard. Kane Y&R. Kane opens the letter. It is Madame de Leon's will. She gave everything to Colin's final pseudonym. Kane insists it has nothing to do with him. Victor responds that he cannot prove this. Are you extorting me? Kane asks, stating the obvious. Victor wants him to be his ally against Jack and Jabot. Otherwise, he'll expose him and drive him out of town permanently. Ashby assumes he doesn't have much of a choice. Victor Newman weaponizes Colin's dying ruse to coerce Kane into a deadly alliance, while Amanda Sinclair returns in secret to exact revenge. Victor Newman uses Colin Atkinson's ultimate ruse to blackmail Kane Ashby into joining an anti-Jabot coalition. Kane secretly plans a big counterstrike with Amanda Sinclair. YNR's explosive war. YNR explosive. Victor Newman's Colin blackmail forces Kane to form deadly alliance. But who really has control? Victor Newman blackmails Kane Ashby with evidence of Colin Atkinson's final scam to push him into an anti-Jabot alliance. But Kane secretly plans a big counterstrike with Amanda Sinclair's assistance. The blackmail bomb that changes everything. Just when you thought Victor Newman couldn't get any lower, he unleashes the ultimate weapon against Kane Ashby. And it's truly wicked. The mustache has discovered incriminating evidence that Kane's entire fortune, the seed money for his company Arabesque, originated from his late father Colin Atkinson's final fraud of a rich old woman. Talk about a father's sins coming back to harm his son. This discovery threatens more than Kane's reputation. It has the potential to destroy everything he has created as the mysterious billionaire Aristotle Dumas.
But here's when things get really twisted. What is Victor Newman's true plan with this blackmail? Victor isn't just using this information for fun, he's using it to drag Kane into his decades-long battle against Jack Abbott and Jabot. The corporate magnate believes he has found the ideal puppet in Kane, whom he can dominate via fear and manipulation. Isn't Victor classic? He's so obsessed with ruining Jack and bringing down Jabot that he believes a little extortion regarding stolen seed money would transform Kane into an obedient soldier. But wait. There's a huge twist that Victor doesn't see coming. Is Kane Ashby gaining an advantage over himself? Yes, Kane is arranging the ultimate double cross, and it will be spectacular. While Kane looks to be cooperating with Victor's plan, he is secretly planning something even more audacious. According to sources, Kane's true goal is not only to defend himself, but also to bring down every major organization in Genoa City, including Newman Enterprises. This is not simply corporate warfare. This is revenge on a scale beyond Victor Newman's imagination. Kane did not develop his Aristotle Dumas empire to win back Lily Winters, rather, he built it to crush everyone who had ever mistreated him. And guess who is at the top of that list? Why is Amanda Sinclair back in Genoa City? Amanda Sinclair is not visiting at random, she is following Kane's secret instructions for what could be the largest corporate takeover in YNR history. The clever lawyer who helped Kane build his entire Aristotle Dumas identity has returned, and she is not here for a social visit. Amanda's homecoming indicates that Kane's counterstrike is already in action. She has the legal knowledge to make whatever Kane is plotting utterly bulletproof, and Victor will not see it coming until it is too late. Remember, Amanda has a strong moral compass, but she has also demonstrated that she will support Kane despite criticism from others. If she agrees to be a part of this scheme, you know it will be disastrous. What happens next for Victor and Kane's dangerous alliance? Could this signal that Victor Newman is about to face his most devastating defeat? Don't be surprised if Kane's hidden plot includes revealing all of Victor's filthy secrets while he is distracted battling Jack. Victor's tendency of underestimating opponents makes this alliance a potentially catastrophic miscalculation. The fact that he intends to use Lily Winters as a spy against Kane could backfire dramatically, especially if it reignites the old spark between Lily and Kane. This is expected to spark an all-out corporate battle, with established alliances crumbling and new power players emerging. We could see a Chancellor alliance involving Kane, Chance, and Billy Abbott, or Kane teaming up with Phyllis Summers to take down the old guard. The Lily factor, Victor's biggest mistake? What makes this even more explosive, Victor believes he can use Lily as a double agent against Kane. However, Victor has previously violated Lily's trust, and she is no longer the naive lady he deceived. Victor may be creating his own worst nightmare by forcing Lily and Kane to be together. Regardless of what Kane has done, Lily sees the good man buried under all his mistakes. If Lily and Kane reunite, both romantically and professionally, they might become the power couple who eventually brings down Victor Newman. Talk about poetic justice. What does this mean for Genoa City's future? This isn't simply another corporate feud, it's a dramatic shift in Genoa City's power dynamics. Kane Ashby has a habit of forging identities, faking his own death, and pulling off difficult scams. Victor believes that a little blackmail will keep him under control. Delusional. Kane learned from the ultimate con artist himself, his father Colin, and he's going to show Victor what happens when you underestimate the next generation. With Amanda Sinclair as his secret weapon and Victor consumed by his desire to destroy Jack, this alliance is a ticking time bomb. When it explodes, as it will, Newman Enterprises may never recover. Kane Ashby isn't playing by the old guard's rules anymore, so they better watch out. He is writing his own. Victoria Newman waits in the wings as Nate dumps Audra for lying about Victor's scheme. Nate learns that Audra's nice kiss with Kyle was Victor's plan. Lily threatens Kane over Aristotle Dumas' identity. Daniel interrogates Holden to protect Phyllis. Victoria circles. YNR shocking, Victoria Newman waiting in wings as Nate dumps lying Adira. TLDR, on The Young and the Restless, Nate Hastings ends his relationship with Audra Charles after discovering her secret plan with Victor Newman to sabotage Claire and Kyle's romance, while Victoria Newman mourns Cole Howard's death from Legionnaire's disease and prepares for a reunion with Nate. The perfect storm is brewing. Hold on to your remote controllers, Genoa City has just dished you the juiciest breakup of the year. Nate had finally seen through Audra's web of lies and deceit. And guess who has been strategically waiting in the wings? Victoria Newman. What's the timing? Absolutely perfect. Almost suspiciously perfect, if you ask me. What happens with Nate and Audra's romance? Nate Hastings officially broke his relationship with Audra Charles on August 22, after Claire Grace revealed the truth about Victor's scheme. Here's what happened. Victor hired Audra to end his granddaughter Claire's relationship with Kyle Abbott. What's the deal? Vibrante receives critical funding if Audra successfully seduces Kyle. What about the faked kiss and nice? This is all part of Victor's big plan. When Claire realized the twisted agenda, she quickly informed Nate. Audra attempted to deflect, blame Kyle, and accuse Nate of not trusting her, classic manipulation methods. But Nate was done. Actually, Audra was the first to walk away, declaring Nate's loss. Talk about delusions. Is Victoria just grieving over Cole? Victoria Newman is mourning Cole Howard's untimely death from Legionnaire's illness, which has created an emotional fragility that is ideally aligned with Nate's current situation. But let's be honest, this isn't simply about grief. Victoria has completely changed from the harsh, business-obsessed CEO who destroyed Nate's heart years ago. She has matured into a family-oriented woman. Gone is the power-hungry executive who was only concerned about Newman Enterprises. The Victoria of today? She is someone Nate can truly appreciate. Meanwhile, Nate is suffering with his own loss, his newfound brother Damien Kane's abrupt death. Two hurting souls finding comfort in one another? Will their past affair haunt them? No, their prior fling based on lust and lies that crashed and burned will not prohibit a reunion, rather, it sets up the ideal redemption narrative. Their first attempt was a fiasco. Nate worked directly for Victoria at Newman Enterprises, and their relationship was primarily about business ambition and physical attraction. No emotional depth. Victor's removal of Victoria's CEO power brought them closer to their impending split. But this time? Everything is different. Nate admitted to Devin Winters that he's unsure whether he ruined a real chance at love with Audra. This self-doubt and sensitivity prepares him for a meaningful connection. And Victoria, struggling with Cole's death while learning her father manipulated her own daughter? She needs someone who recognizes Victor's betrayal. Enter Nate. What about the corporate fallout? Audra's separation with Nate quickly allowed her to become Sally Spectra's secret weapon at Abbott Communications. This is huge. One romantic failure only fueled the Newman-Abbott antagonism. Audra's employment for the Abbotts puts her in direct conflict with Nate and the whole Newman clan. she's already clashing with Phyllis Summers, who has openly mocked her failed romance with Nate. But here's where things get interesting. What is next for Victoria and Nate? Could Victoria and Nate be Genoa City's new super couple? Don't be surprised if their shared pain develops into something deeper. Given Victoria's development and Nate's increased emotional maturity, this reunion could work. They are both single. Both are grieving. Both are ready for something real. This time, they were brought together by real emotion and genuine vulnerability, rather than business games. My prediction? Nate will help Victoria heal from the loss of Cole, and she will do the same for him with Damien. Their relationship will blossom into real love, a slow-burning, authentic romance unlike their turbulent history. What happens when Victoria realizes the full scope of Victor's scheme with Audra? The father-daughter schism will propel her straight into Nate's embrace. Together, they may become an invincible force against Victor. Keep an eye out, Devon. Your cousin and Victoria might be preparing to challenge Chancellor Winters sooner than you think. The fans are divided. Social media erupted after the split aired. In any case, half of the viewers found no chemistry between Nate and Audra. One follower called Nate stupid for allowing Audra to use him to make Tucker jealous. Others are looking for Audra's redemption story at Abbott Communications. Will she demonstrate her professional worth or use her position for vengeance? Victor Newman's aggressive maneuver against Kane Ashby set the stage for one of the most explosive weeks in Genoa City history, as emotions flared up in every part of the city and even the most seasoned players in the Newman-Abbott Chancellor orbit were forced to reconsider their alliances. At Crimson Lights, Lily Winters found herself torn between the man she once loved and the complex web of deceit that surrounded Kane, as he admitted in a rare moment of vulnerability that he created the Dumas persona out of fear of failing, of disappointing the people he cared about the most, and of repeating the mistakes that had destroyed his marriage and alienated his children. Lily, who was equally sharp and merciless, didn't let Kane wallow in self-pity. She reminded him that his failures as a father, as well as his failures as a husband, had long-term consequences, and before they could delve deeper into emotional territory, Victor Newman himself intervened, seeking a private word with Kane, his piercing eyes and signature mustache indicating that this wasn't a friendly conversation. Lily, sensing the hazardous game her ex-husband was going to play, admonished him, stating that she would not tolerate his manipulations, and walked out, leaving Victor and Kane to negotiate the tension alone. Meanwhile, at the ranch, a different kind of showdown was brewing, as Nick left a heartfelt message for Supergirl, expressing how much he missed her, only to have Adam show up with a purpose far more sinister and strategic, to talk Nick into seeing Kane as untrustworthy, to convince him that pretending to ally with him was dangerous, and to suggest that instead of pursuing a complex plan involving Arabesque and Jabot, they should intervene directly with their father's SC. Adams' concern was specific. He knew Kane as shrewd, too intelligent to be easily deceived, and he feared Victor would walk right into a trap of his own creation. Nick, however, remained nonchalant, teasing about a mysterious special weapon their father might deploy against Kane, fully aware that Victor's intelligence and experience often outpaced their own, but confident that if the initial plan faltered, he would strategically choose the right battle, whereas Adam preferred a direct confrontation, both brothers poised precariously on the edge of familial conflict and corporate warfare, unsure if they would survive Victor's necks. Across the city, at Chancellor Park, Lily confronted Holden, upset that he had not listened her advice to avoid Kane, fearing the implications of taking on Damien's former role and the resulting impact on her children, who had already suffered from Kane's public exposure. Their conversation, tinged with resentment and emotional vulnerability, devolved into a power struggle. Holden accused Lily of shutting down her emotions, just as he was accused of doing to Kane, while she insisted she was only looking for the truth and trying to protect everyone from further harm. Their tense debate showed Damien's deep wounds and the long-term ramifications of unprocessed grief, as well as the challenge of negotiating professional and personal boundaries in a city where business and family loyalties are dangerously intertwined. Meanwhile, at home, Billy Abbott launched his own stealthy campaign, asking his private investigator to track Kane down and find every secret in his life, even while Sally Spectre jokingly requested his fashion knowledge for her vintage TV-themed launch. What started out as light-hearted domesticity, a flirtatious fitting of 3 elaborate outfits, playful kisses, and intimate moments on the couch, quickly turned back to business as Billy, confident and calculating, shared the PI's findings with Sally, detailing Victor's meeting with Kane and assessing the possibility of interference in his plans. Despite Sally's reservations about meddling with Ashby, Billy remained steadfast, believing that whenever Kane stumbled,